Call the June 8th budget meeting to order. I would ask everyone, all the commissioners, turn their mics on and ask everyone in the audience plus the commissioners and everyone to put your phone on silent. Tonight is a very important meeting. Tonight we need to wrap everything up in order to meet the deadline. So we need to move on, and Lord help that we won't be here 4 hours like Thursday night. At this time, I would ask if there's any visitors that would like to address this committee. You may do so at this time. You've got 3 minutes. State your name and address, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Chris Black. I reside at 7335 Eveline Circle in Talbot in the 13th District. I'm here tonight because Hamilton County should not be sending public money to organizations that cannot seem to conduct a fair, transparent, or credible hiring process. I recently went through HCExcel, the Foundation for Educational Excellence's Executive Director Search in good faith. I brought real fundraising experience, a detailed strategy, and a strong record of service to this county. I was told that I was the strongest candidate and that the search was focused on finding a professional fundraiser and that was the standard. That was the expectation, and then the process and the outcome made that standard look meaningless. What makes that even harder to accept, and why I bring this to County Commission tonight, is that HCExcel hired a $25,000 consultant from Nashville to run a national search, even though qualified candidates with local knowledge were already here. Take myself out of it. If you're going to spend that kind of money on a national search, then the result ought to be better than what the community already had in front of it. Instead, the process raised more questions than answers, and these are questions that County Commission and City Council need to ask and look into. It also deserves to be said that the budget that this commission is being asked to review doesn't match the version of the budget that HCExcel is actually proposing for their upcoming fiscal year. And I bring this up subject to item 5A3 on the agenda tonight. The budget that HCExcel has presented to you guys doesn't talk about the expenditures that are going out that have nothing to do with the advancement of the mission that they propose to carry forth. And that is unacceptable. I'm here tonight to ask you guys, before voting, to make a $5,000 appropriation, a 2-cent appropriation even, to please call upon the leadership of HCExcel and their board members to provide you with the proposed budget for fiscal year 2027. Compare that to the budget that you guys were provided, that's on the county website, to support their appropriation request, and to then go back and ask the question as to why they are turning candidates in Hamilton County that are more than qualified away so that they can continue a national search, spending in excess of $25,000 to do it. It's just not right. The people of Hamilton County deserve more. You guys very well know that this is the people's budget. And so if you're going to make appropriations out of the people's budget, you need to do it in mind of what the people actually need and what serves them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I am Renee Jernigan. I am the captain and firefighter at South Hamilton County Volunteer Fire Department. As a daughter of a founding member of South Hamilton County Volunteer Fire Department, my entire life I've been around or involved in the Volunteer Fire Department. My family chooses to make sacrifices for the citizens of Hamilton County. The comments made during the June 4th budget hearing regarding Hamilton County Volunteer Fire Departments was both disappointing and concerning. Volunteer fire departments are essential emergency response agencies staffed by men and women who sacrifice personal time, family time, and often their own resources to protect the citizens of this county. Mr. Richardson, I would like to see your documentation. The suggestion that departments spend more on recreation than training fails to recognize the realities of volunteer recruitment and retention. Fundraising events, community appreciation events, and firefighter fellowship activities are often categorized broadly in budgets, but those activities help maintain morale, recruit volunteers, and sustain departments that are already struggling with dwindling manpower. A volunteer fire department cannot not function without volunteers. Additionally, implying that volunteers should simply fundraise more ignores the fact that these departments already spend countless hours organizing events, applying for grants, seeking donations, and serving the public, all while responding to fires, vehicle accidents, emergency medical emergencies, storm damage, and rescue calls at every hour of the day and the night. The comment that departments could operate on a $50,000 budget demonstrates a misunderstanding of the actual cost of operating modern fire services. Fuel, protective gear, air packs, vehicle maintenance, radios, insurance, training requirements, and equipment placement costs have all increased significantly within the recent years. One set of turnout gear alone cost the department $4,446. And departments are expected to meet state and federal safety regulations regardless of funding levels. Most of the department's trainings is handled by in-house firemen who have the training qualifications. Volunteer fire departments save taxpayers millions annually by providing a professional emergency response services at a fraction of the cost fully paid by municipal departments. If volunteer departments fail due to inadequate funding, taxpayers would likely face substantial higher taxes to support full-time county fire services like rural Metro. Perhaps before making assumptions about how departments spend money or suggesting funding reductions, county commissioners should visit the volunteer fire departments, attend training nights, or even respond alongside crews on emergency calls. Seeing firsthand how structure fires, fatal vehicle accidents, medical emergencies, rescues, and long hours these volunteers handle would provide you a much clearer understanding of the challenges departments face and the level of commitment required from every member. It is easy to question funding from a meeting room. It is much harder to stand on the side of the road at 2 a.m. in the rain while trying to help save a life while balancing your family, your work, or your volunteer service. Most importantly, volunteer firefighters are not asking for luxury funding. They are asking for support to continue protecting lives and property safely and effectively.
Thank you. Your
The
3
fact
minutes
the
is
fact
up.
that
Thank
the
you.
increase was denied, there is even a discussion resisting funding.
Ma'am,
I understand, but
Thank you.
I pay taxes. I get to speak. Even my county
Thank you.
commissioner votes against us.
anyone else?
It wasn't me.
Good afternoon. My name's Mark Hickman. I reside at 3103 Markham Drive, and I'm the fire chief at West Hamlin County Fire Department. West Hamlin County has served this community for 53 years. I myself have served this community for 40 years as a volunteer fireman. And there was question about the money that's spent on fireman recreation. Like Renee said, it's retention. It's when those firefighters, the supper just gets put on the table and they're called away to come answer somebody else's emergency.
And they go.
We feed those firemen if they miss a meal. And we do cook them a hamburger at summer picnic, okay? You know, they're paying $5 a gallon in gas to answer somebody else's emergency. And I don't know many people that would do that.
Amen.
The fireman recreation is 4% of our budget. Y'all give us $75,000 each. Okay, our budget is well over that. It's $164,000. You know, we're doing fundraisers, and we do that on our own time. You know, we have to raise over $80,000 just to make our budget. Our neighboring county, Jefferson County, provides over $1 million for their volunteer fire departments. I don't understand why Hamlin County can't give a little bit more to help their volunteer fire departments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else at this time? Seeing none, we'll move forward. We'll go to,
Mr. Chairman, you've got one coming up from the back, sir.
I have a question both for the chairman as well as for Linda No.
Please
My
state.
name is Linda Shalhoub. I live at Chestnut Oak Drive in Morristown. Am I allowed, as a constituent, my 3 minutes, am I allowed to yield it to somebody else?
prefer you to go ahead and do it. Nobody else wanted
Well,
to speak.
I just wanted
so-
to yield my time to this lady back here. She
but
wasn't
she's had
allowed
her
to
three-
finish.
She's had her 3 minutes. Somebody else in that
Okay,
could
thank
have.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Green.
is there any way that we could allow that young lady, being she didn't get finished, an extra 2 minutes? We used to give 5 minutes apiece, and we have extended that courtesy to a lot of people. And her station with, if I remember correctly, hold on, South Fire Department, she has earned her right to speak as a Hamlin County citizen, sir. For my part, and if you need a motion to that effect, I'll make it into a motion to allow her to have 2 more minutes to finish what she was saying. I, for one, have worked several wrecks with each and every fire department
Ms.
out here.
Green, we have got a long budget session tonight.
Yeah, but we answer to
And
the
we have done
citizens, sir.
already addressed the nonprofits. So
But it's not final yet, is it, sir?
is there anyone else?
My name's Kevin Jarnigan. I'm chief at South Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay.
And I'm going to finish what my wife was reading off. Most importantly, volunteer fire departments are not asked for luxury funding. They're asked for support and continued protecting lives and property safely and effectively. The fact that the increase was denied and there was even discussion on reducing existing funding, sending a discouraging message to every person who stands ready to respond when citizens call 911. Hamlin County Volunteer Fire Departments deserve appreciation, partnership, and reasonable support. No circumstance that, no, anyway, I can't get it right. I'm just going to say that I've been doing this for 32 years. We've never been involved really with the budget because nobody's ever really involved us until this year. I know we didn't make the Saturday meeting, but I know EMA Director Perkey let you know that we was at Strawberry Festival with a boot, with a bucket, helping park cars. We was out there all day for about 12 hours, and it brought us in about $500 per department. So, I mean, filling a boot, filling a bucket don't work. We do everything we can. I can't tell you how many times I've got up, as soon as the food hits the table, we get a call, we got to go. Whether you're at a restaurant, whether it's your kid's birthday party, whatever. These men and women across this whole county, we give our lives to this. So we appreciate everything that you've done for us and do for us, but don't knock us down. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? We'll move on to old business. We have 2 people. First is Mayon Fritz from APS, wants to make a clarification.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner. And obviously there are a lot of upset people here tonight, and I have absolutely no doubt the heavy weight on all of your shoulders. Balancing budgets, finding the right numbers, supporting the right processes is a difficult task, and I do not envy any one of you. The reason I went and visited Mayor Cutshaw after Thursday night's session was I just think there were some things that needed to be clarified. And if I remember correctly, I think it was Commissioner Green who said, these statements are being thrown out about ALPS, about sitting on a boatload of money and 6 figures, and I don't know what they mean. Can somebody please explain that to me? Yet she got no response, if I remember correctly. I tried to watch as much of it as I could. So I wanted to come here and give that response. You know, obviously, the day of the Strawberry Festival, I was here. I was the first one called up, gave a short presentation, opened the floor for questions, had a few, but none of the concerns that were raised in Thursday's night discussion about ALPS sitting on a boatload of money, compensation for executive salaries, immense fundraising dollars, none of that was raised or asked during. We'd be glad to clarify these things. I think part of the confusion comes in is you're looking at a corporation's finances as a whole versus Morristown Center. We're a multi-unit organization now. We're not just ELPS in Morristown and Hamlin County. But as I did say when I presented on that Saturday, all 100% of our fundraising dollars and 100% of county funding go to offset a sliding scale discount directly for our center here serving Hamlin County residents. Now, obviously, there was a lot of discussion about fundraising, and what was, I think, concerning for me, and maybe one of the questions that Mrs. Green was asking, was you were only talking about gross dollars. I think a lot of the discussion was about golf tournaments. Golf tournaments are lucrative. They bring in some nice gross revenue. However, there's no mention of the cost. Our golf tournament cost us over $11,000 to put on, and that's just direct cost. That's not staffing, labor, volunteer hours. That's just direct cost. The minimum fee just for the country club, which is our only resource here for a golf tournament, is $6,100. So there's a lot of cost involved in those fundraising dollars. We try to be the best stewards that we can be of those funds. We try to evaluate every single event and make sure that there is a good return on investment for ELPS to serve this community. But obviously, due to that, only the net proceeds from fundraising can offset budgets for our facilities. And as I mentioned, questions, I think part of the confusion is you're looking at our financials for the entire corporation, not just the Morristown Hamlin County facility specifically. When there was questions raised about executive salary, only half of that is billed to the Morristown facility. We are one corporation. Prior to current leadership, ELPS faced significant financial challenges, including borrowing funds to make payroll. Since that time, the organization has achieved long-term financial stability and sustained growth. When the comment was made about sitting on boatloads of money, I could easily define that and let the commission know that after a 2-year battle, we finally got ERC funding. About $270,000. It took us over 2 years to get. This is a one-time offering that most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with. This shouldn't be penalizing ELPS as if it was continued revenue. Over the past 11 years, ELPS has expanded its Morristown facility, more than doubled the number of families served locally, expanded services into 6 additional counties, and currently preparing to open its 3rd location. And upon completion, ELPS will then serve 17 counties throughout the region, which I think it's even more important that when we are asked to come and present to the commission, if you have these financial questions, please ask them. We are very transparent. Our numbers are publicly available. We will share anything you want, answer any questions you may have. As we mentioned in our original letter, we firmly believe that an investment at ELPS is not only provides direct care and support for Hamlin County residents, but it also serves as a cost avoidance strategy that strengthens community broader public safety and healthcare infrastructure. Every day at ELPS, we intervene in situations that might otherwise escalate into crisis requiring response from E911, EMS, fire, law enforcement, emergency departments, or other publicly funding services. But providing prevention, education, support, and intervention before a situation reaches an emergency level, we reduce demand on systems that are already operating under significant strain. Public available data from communities across the country consistently demonstrate that emergency response calls involving EMS, fire, and law enforcement resources carry substantial costs. While exact cost will vary by each incident involvement, the reality is that each crisis prevented through the ELPS services represents resources that remain available for true emergencies otherwise elsewhere in the county. The value that ELPS extends beyond individual care and families we directly serve. Our work helps reduce pressure on emergency responders, healthcare providers, volunteer fire department, and public safety or agencies while improving the outcome for our community and our most vulnerable adults. We remain committed to serving the citizens of Hamlin County and the surrounding region with integrity, transparency, and fiscal responsibility. We appreciate the county's historic partnership and welcome any opportunity to answer questions, provide additional documentation, or discuss our finances and impact in greater detail at any time. And again, I understand your decisions are tough. The job you have on your shoulders, I don't want that. If your decision is to remain to not fund ELPS this year, we completely understand. But we did want to make clear the comments that were made and clear up some of the questions that I believe Ms. Green raised that night.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
This time, Mr. Eric Carpenter. Come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my understanding that there may have been some additional questions from the committee, is the reason why I appear this evening. I'll be glad to address those if there are some.
I don't think there is any additional questions. Is there anyone that's got a question? The budget was passed at last year's funding, and it'll be addressed later on, 2 or 3 months down the road, according to what the state does, and same as the city.
Yeah, did not view or was not present at your last budget committee meeting, but County Mayor contacted me and some others as well, and had informed me that perhaps there had been some discussion that I should come back and answer some questions. So that was the purpose why I told the mayor then that I would be back this evening, because as I said that Saturday when we were here, that I certainly would answer any questions regarding our budget that this committee had. I'll make this statement then, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, that's.
We all know why I'm here. I'm here because the governor sent this back to your lap. The legislature passed the funding that we needed last year and didn't request, because we hoped that would happen again this year, and so we didn't want to come back, and we ate that for a year in order to let the legislature do what they ultimately did in the House by a vote of 75-15. And the governor sent that back to you to say that it was a local responsibility. But I appeared to this body that Saturday during that hearing, and I appear tonight, and it's kind of baffling, Mr. Chairman, that not one time did I get a question that asked me, what about proposed cuts? There were no proposed cuts made or suggestions made from this body. There was no question to ask me, what are similar funding comparisons of surrounding 911 centers? What does that look like, and what are they doing? No one asked me what the consequences would be of not funding your 911 center. None of those questions were asked. So I find that strange, and I'm disheartened, Mr. Chairman, that how soon we forget that the Emergency Communications District provided the match for the Health Department grant in a lump sum payment. Yes, we acquired that building for that, so that you would have a new health department and a new 911 center in this county at no cost to the taxpayer, and in a lump sum payment. The 911 center took their reserve and wrote this county a check for almost $1.2 million, the equivalent of what you have given the 911 center for over 7 years. We forget that when we made, that I said at that meeting, 911 has no debt. We have paid as we go. So when we had to update our CAD system to the tune of over $600,000, we paid for that, and it bought all the software for every Hamilton County Sheriff's Department MDT, along with that software purchase for the county. That when we updated to an NG911 system, all of the fiber transition to the state networks was done at 911's expense. that when we instituted and paid for software for emergency medical and fire service dispatch software, one piece of that software was just $70,000 for that, in order so that we can better have protocols in place for our volunteer fire departments. Those ISO grades that determine the ISO standing of your volunteer fire department, 10% of that grade is 911 for communication. So in an attempt to help lower homeowner insurance rates in the county, we purchase those systems. We perform all the NCIC operations. That is a law enforcement function that we perform. We're receiving all of the license plate reader alerts on top of the job that the dispatchers are doing when those come through monthly. We're monitoring all the cameras in the Hamilton County Board of Education schools and reviewing those. And we're doing all of that and doing the training to the point that your 911 center is the 7th center in the nation to receive the National Peer Award for education in 911 communications and meeting the national standards of those. Only the 7th in the nation. And we're doing it all, as Commissioner Cardin pointed out that Saturday when I was here, when we discussed our staffing and our amount of telecommunicators, doing it all with less staff than the national standard says that we should have. So it's strange to me that we take all those things into consideration and there's no questions. So I would ask that the board, that this committee, review that again, take that back up again, because the request that's before you is a joint request for the city and county, and all that funding does is bring us to a zero budget. It balances our budget. That's all it does. Had we received the additional revenue that the governor vetoed, that would have brought in, our request is only for $336,000. That's city and county combined. Had that revenue passed at the state level, that would have been $407,000 recurring in new revenue. And you take a look at that. Let's look at the counties that border us that are doing the exact same thing that we're doing. Some counties don't dispatch EMS that border us. Some counties don't dispatch for their city police department that border us. Well, let's look at two counties that do, Jefferson and Greene. Jefferson County and Greene County do the exact same thing we're doing. We would have received over $400,000 in that amount. Both Jefferson and Greene would have been in the mid 300,000s in that amount had it been increased. What does that tell you? It tells you that that amount is based upon not only population, but also upon call volume. So it tells you that Hamilton County's 911 center is busier than those 911 centers are. But when you take a look at local participation, Jefferson County Commission gives annually to their 911 center $1,078,952. You know what their cities put in? Jefferson City contributes 0. Dandridge, 0. White Pine, 0. Newmarket, 0. What about Greene County? Greene County Commission is giving their center $750,000. The city of Greenville, $267,000, and Baileyton, Mossheim, and Tusculum, $92,000 for a $1.1 million local contribution. Less busy centers, but there's no questions. So I would hope that that would mean that you understand that public safety, when you take away all the bells and whistles, really comes down to only 3 things. You need someone to answer the call, you need someone to send help, and you need someone to go and deal with the problem. And your 911 center is the first 2 of those.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Amen.
Thank you. This time we'll move from old business to new business. We will start with 4A. It is the approval and recommendation of a proposed budget for the Hamilton County Commission. And we'll start with A1, approval of the Hammond County School budget. They brought us a balanced budget. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville. Do I have a second? Mr. Hone, you can't second it. Yes.
Conflict of interest.
Second by Ms. Howe. Is there any discussion? We'll take a roll call vote.
Abstain due to cause.
Jamie Carden,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes.
Stan Harble,
Yes.
Bob Kahn,
Abstain.
Tim Lerner,
Abstain with cause.
Mr. Hone, you will have to abstain with cause. That's, yes.
Tim Lerner,
Abstain with cause.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Abstain with cause.
Wayne Neesmith,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Abstain with cause.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Paul Walker,
Yes.
seven yes. Five abstain, two absent.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, we'll go to 4.2, and this is the approval of the cost of living raises and funding. I will need a motion for us to bring this back up for discussion. Do I have a motion? Motion by Ms. Howe. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Harville. At this time, I would ask Ms. Hale to give a short presentation of what she worked on all weekend. Ms. Hale?
Okay, Commissioners, in front of you is our balances after the meeting on Thursday night with the changes made for the nonprofits. So as you can see on your screens, the total estimated revenue and the total estimated expenses. The difference would be the deficit for this year. We can then remove, we are allowed to use fund balance to cover the capital items. So those capital items highlighted equal $396,000. So once you remove those, that leaves our deficit at $286,000. Now, that's before any cost of living increase for anyone. I have contacted the state opioid abatement folks, and we can use $100,000 of the semi-restricted funds to help subsidize the drug court's budget. So if we were to move $100,000 from the opioid funds to help cover, and this would be the drug court costs not already covered through grant or state funding. So this would cover some salaries that are not already taken care of. And then there is the option to move $250,000. We have $761,000 in our unrestricted funds after we took out the $50,000 for the ambulance. But any money that's moved from here, it's not reoccurring. You're not going to have this money next year. So that's why I only moved $250,000 instead of the full amount. So if you move the $100,000 to cover drug court from the semi-restricted money, and you move the $250,000 from the completely unrestricted money, we have a balanced budget in the tune of an excess of $63,654. So I did all that to say, wherever you all start with the cost of living, wherever it ends, that is the number of pennies that we will need to take from the school system, from their property tax rate, and move it to the general fund.
Got any questions on that?
Ms. Green's asking a question.
So we,
Speaking to the mic,
we
please.
still have to take a penny away, or
I mean, if you gave no cost of living increases at all, you would be fine. You would have a balanced budget
Oh,
to the
no.
good, just a little bit.
no cost of living.
No cost of living at all. If it's a 0% cost of living, there's no pennies to be taken. You can approve the budget as is. But just remember, if whatever cost of living, wherever that lands, that all those pennies will need to come from the school system.
Ms. Green, did you have a question?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay.
How many pennies exactly is that, Amanda?
It's what?
We don't know yet because we'll have to go back to the cost of living. The pennies is not affecting what she's done here
What I've
from
done
the
just,
school system.
what I've done just gets us to 0, basically.
Okay, but what we're taking the 250,000 out, that takes care of the work, and I want to say ladies' workhouse that Bobby was so adamant about the last time, but that still leaves our fire departments at 75,000. That still leaves 911, which no offense intended to any of you. I've worked Rex with each and every fire department in Hamlin County. Never had a man to shirk on me or woman in either one of them, so thank you up front. And I have worked with a lot of other record companies that shirked. We need to go back. If we can pull the additional pennies from the school property tax to handle this, we need to go back. I know some of you are looking at me like it's not possible, but we have companies that absolutely work their fingers to the bones, and I'm talking about the fire departments, and deserve us to take a second look. And 911, no offense intended, Eric covered it all, but they dispatch everything. They go above and beyond. And they're certainly not paid a killer wage like some of our folks are.
Mr. Chairman,
Anyone else? Ms. Aaron?
and my understanding, Amanda, that this is not including any COLAs.
0.
So we're at 0. So now we have to come back and process the percents of COLAs, and that's why we're asking for the money from the school system. So it has nothing. As of right now, there's no raises, 0 for anybody, and that's why I'm just clarifying. Correct.
What
So now
what she presented right there has nothing to do with
Right. We're at
the
0.
pennies in school system.
That's correct. So if anybody wants any raises, we have to go through to the school system. Correct. Just to clarify. Thank you.
And just to remind everyone, the 250, I will call it a Band-Aid. Again, this time next year, like it's not reoccurring money. So just keep that in mind. And I will say, from the way I have budgeted it, this will be the very first year, this coming year, with a fully operational jail for the whole year. So I've tried my best to estimate electricity and gas and all that, so could there be excess? I hope I've budgeted high. I hope our costs don't turn out that much. So the 250, it is a one-time fix. I can't predict next year. So it's just my best guess at.
Anyone else?
Comment, if you please. I played our take back from the last meeting. Several of our commissioners sat way back or they turned sideways and you couldn't hear what they had to say, sir. Our citizens deserve that.
Ms. Howell?
Okay, so with this, we're not, we don't need any pennies from the the school, and we come out as a balanced budget.
Correct.
What I fear is having a big tax increase next time. And that's just a lot to leave those coming after me and many of us. And the thing about borrowing the pennies would seem so good on Thursday night, but then tossing and turning and calling Amanda Friday morning, I thought, are we creating a hole?
Ms. Hale, I
Sir?
don't want
Oh,
to
yes.
interrupt you, but
Yeah.
you're talking about the pennies from the school. Right now, we need to address this right here because
Cola?
it doesn't have anything to do with those
Okay.
pennies from the school system.
Yes, sir, okay.
Any other question? Well, I mean, we'll get to you.
Right. We just
next.
need a vote on whether or not to move the $100,000 using semi-restricted money to cover the drug court budget, and then another vote to move the $250 from the unrestricted funds to balance the budget before any cost of living.
Like she said, we'll need to do that separate.
Make a motion to accept the budget.
No. That motion has to be for the first one, that
Correct, that's what I'm
move
talking
the $100,000.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Is that what your motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Howe. Any other discussion? Mr. Carden?
I think you said we have approximately 2.1 million in the opioid, and about 800,000 of that was unrestricted, right?
That's right, but then I took out the 50 for the ambulance. So right now, after that 50, in the unrestricted funds, we have $761,637. And a total across all the categories is after, because now we're going to fund the Women's Jail to Work and Stepping Out and the Substance Abuse Coalition, we'll have left $1,823,148.
And the spend down time on the remaining, there is, I wasn't here at that time, but there's not a, okay.
Miss Amanda, I'm sorry,
Green.
Mr. Chairman. Now, if I understand correctly, you thought we would still get these funds up to 31, the year 31, or have I went too far? That's the first question. And the second question, will they stay as constant as they are now, or will they fluctuate?
I think that's a good question, but I think we all understand eventually
So
it's going to go away eventually, but not anytime soon, don't look like.
the semi-restricted money that we're talking about using to subsidize drug court, we're going to be receiving payments through 2040.
Okay.
For these are monies from the pharmaceutical companies, so CVS and Walgreens and Food City. And now when we get to 2040, our last payment, they estimate, will be $36,186. But through 2038, we will get over $100,000 each year. So you could continue to do this for drug court. I won't call it an indefinite funding, but it at least would go through 2038 as reoccurring if you were to choose to do that.
And that does, I'm sorry, may I follow-up question?
Yes.
And that does qualify for the use under the opioid?
Through the semi-restricted, yes, I verified that today.
Any other question? Let's do a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Al
Yes.
Motion carries. Now we'll move to moving the $250,000 out of the general fund into the OPID. Yes, out of the OPID to the general fund. Do I have a motion?
Could you repeat that, please, Mr. Long?
Moving the $250,000 out of the OPID money to the general fund. Am I saying that correctly? Yes.
These would be unrestricted opioid funds.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Horner. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Reed. Any discussion? Let's do a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Hale. You do a great job as finance director.
Amen.
We also have some information to pass out to commissioners. Mr. Carden, would you be so kind to make sure everybody gets a copy of that? Mr. Richardson, will you start that in that way? You got it. What about a copy of that one?
Mr. Reed, we need an extra copy for Amanda, and that was my fault.
Here you go.
Okay, here it comes.
Let's start with the history of the cost of living salary increases. That is excellent information. Some commissioners may not know the history there. But it's a telling story because it tells you exactly where we're at today. If you'll notice there was some real lean years there that there was no cost of living given to any employee in the county. So as time goes on, it puts you further and further behind in the salaries for the county employees. It was 3 years straight with no pay raise. Small pay raise for 2 more years, and then again no pay raise. No cost of living. So Ms. Hale put this together so you all could see the history. If you go down to year 22-23, the start of a new commission, you can see the difference that this commission has done. The COLA for the last 3 years has been at 5% to each county employee. The year 22-23, if you'll notice over in the comment section, the difference with the pay that went to the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department those 2 years. If you look at last year, there was a 7% pay raise, COLA, and a 10% increase for the correction officers. That's some good information to have as we start this process here of the COLA. Is there any questions on that before we move forward? I want to say something. Thursday night was a very long night. This commission has a lot of important decisions to make right here tonight because we have to finish this budget tonight. We have to be responsible to the taxpayers, and we also have to be responsible to taking care of the services for the taxpayers. So as we start this discussion, we need to look at the future. We need to understand that any COLA that we give has got to come out of the school's sales tax portion.
Property tax.
Property tax. The sales tax, we are not sure how it will go. The world could change in the click of a button. The economy could take a dive. We're not sure, but that's a gamble that all of us takes in our budgets at home and everywhere. So I would ask tonight that you really take in consideration as we start this discussion, and I'll open the floor for anybody that wants to address it now on the COLA. Ms. Green?
Our deputies and our people deserve a raise, but I have a problem with giving someone that makes $101,768 a 10% boost on top of that. Now, I like Chief Ellis, so no offense intended, sir. But
I'd prefer you not to bring names
well,
up.
we gave a $10,000 raise to put specifics to it not too long ago. We need to put a cap on this. We don't need to give 10% above that. We need to put a cap. We have people, and I have a printout from the mayor's office here. We have people that make up to $73,000 that are below that chief deputy's pay. Let me put it that way. I'd like to put a cap up to a certain amount, go 10%. If it's over that, no. And I'll put that in a motion.
Well, we've got a motion on the floor, but do we have a second to it?
Could you repeat that motion, Edna?
I make a motion that we cap off the 10% in the sheriff's department. Anybody making above $73,667 does not get the 10% boost on top. And the one I am referring to is $101,768.12 printout I got from the mayor's office.
How many have you got doing that?
Let's see, one, hold on a minute. I've got
Just
to
one
put
person?
one. There's one. Bear with me just a moment. Now, we're just talking about the sheriff's department right now because they're the only ones that got the 10%, if I remember correctly. And you are welcome to correct me, Miss Hale or Mr. Long, if I'm incorrect. Our sheriff's set by the state, so we can't touch that with a 10-foot pole. So, hold tight. We have two at the 73,000 mark. But from what I can tell, we only have one below the sheriff's at the $101,768.
What's your next break up, going up from that, how much money you got on the next break? Does it drop down to 50 or 80 or 70, or what does it do?
Hold on.
It sounds like you're singling him out.
Well, I don't mean it that way, but we gave him 10,000 earlier in the year.
I realize
To make up, if I remember correctly, there was something about the pay scale, and Amanda is more than welcome to clarify for me, because I know her mind is better than mine is. But we voted in to give him a $10,000 raise to level things out, and that was in the middle of the year. But now we're facing our taxpayers having to fork out more money, and we need to look at some adjustments somewhere. We
So
adjusted.
we have a motion on the floor to cap it 70,000. Do we have a second?
70,000 works for me. I love what Mr. Long come up with.
I didn't come up to that.
Well,
You
I thought
said it.
I said 73, sir.
I want to correct it. Did you
Okay.
say 73? Well,
I
that's
said
my fault
73,
then.
sir. You're fine. I just like your idea better than I did mine.
Do we have a second? Motion fails, lack of a
No
second.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make one comment here.
Yes.
We gave the man a $10,000 raise. Also note on that he lost money. Okay? He did get a $10,000 raise in salary, but then he lost all of his overtime, and I can't remember, but he lost actual dollars by agreeing to take a $10,000 raise in his salary. I think that's worthy of mentioning, since you're gonna attack him.
I'm not attacking, sir. I'm just being forthcoming.
Any other suggestion from the floor?
So if we look at just across the board, 5% is 3 pennies.
That would take, I'll let you answer that. Just
Make sure I'm reading it right.
That's correct, Stan. Yes, if it's 5% across the board, that's the equivalent of $873,360, an equivalent, because we do have that little bit of a excess of 63,000, 3 pennies would cover it.
Right.
Yes.
$279,000 per penny.
I hate to back up. I think we've seen through this process that you can't cut yourself out of a deficit. Your cuts are terrible. We don't need to be taking things away from the volunteer fire department. I understand Chief Carpenter's
Keep that. My
uh,
second one.
passion about this, but, you know, the governor, I mean, that's just an unfunded mandate. We do the best we can. I think we gotta take care of our people. We didn't get in this overnight, and we're not gonna get out of it overnight. I'm like Miss Howell. I sat and thought about this weekend, and I thought, you know, we're gonna go back up there next year. Hopefully, I'm gonna come back next year, and we're gonna have a black hole up here. We need to try to control it a little bit now. I wish we could get that $5,000 back for the volunteer fire departments and make it $75,000. Can, great. But I'll make a motion that we go to the 5% across the board for all county employees.
Can I ask a question?
We have, not till we get a second.
Okay, thank
We
you.
have a motion that would be, and I want to make sure we have this correct. It would be for 5% across the board. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Howe. Discussion?
Please
Ms. Green?
clarify that motion. Is that just all county employees, or is that just,
It's all county employees, 5%
Including the
across
sheriff's
the
department?
board. Yes.
That doesn't cost of living. That's not got the cost of living in it. That's a
That is
5%
it.
raise.
That is it, 5%.
Cost of living
it.
raise, cost of living
That's it.
adjustment, cost of
That's
living
the
raise.
raise, total.
Right.
We ain't got 5%
No,
on top
no,
of that.
no.
Sheriff gets 5.
Everybody gets 5.
no, the sheriff wasn't, he's paid through the state.
Yeah, the sheriff himself.
Mr. Carden?
I mean, the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Mr.
5% instead of 10, 5% versus 5 was planning on giving.
Yes, Mr. Carden?
Yeah, one thing that
I'll second
we
that.
said it at the meeting the other night that needs to be clear, that everybody knows what we're talking about, is Amanda's office gave us numbers that said, when we started, I made a note of it this morning, 13 people we started in July of last year that we don't have on payroll right now. And as of, for the entire departments, I just made the highlights, and Mike can correct me some, the sanitation and highway department, we are down 14 people right now. So if your garbage ain't picked up, or your brush, there's a good reason. We, I think, 6 people in the clerk's office that we've had, and I think it was either 11 or 13 in the sheriff's department. 57 people in 1 year are no longer county employees for some reason. And it absolutely is pay. I'm an employer. We have to pay things we don't want to also. And it's hard. And if you don't like it here, that's why people are leaving. And I think we are at that place now that we are, I don't know if we're catching up, but I think we're closer, but it's not as close as where some of us would like to be. And we just got to get there with some tough love, I think.
Anybody else? Mr. Walker?
I'm going to be on the advocate side. You know, we sat here and we talked about this last week. We all agreed to give the sheriff's department what we agreed to give them. Now, after they've gone home, they've looked at what we're going to give them. Now we're going to take it away from them. Okay? I understand that we're saying 5 cents. You're right. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You know what? As much as we could lose tax dollars, we could have a windfall over the next year on tax dollars.
Go either one.
Okay? School system get twice as much money next year as they got this year. We don't know. But we do know, just like with these numbers, we didn't give them what they were worth for how many years? And now we're going to take it away from them? I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think the 10% was enough. You know, and I'm sorry that we're leaving this for the commission next year. But the commissioners left it for us 4 years ago, from the commissioners before us. I mean, I'm sorry. I believe the sheriff's department deserves what we gave them. Okay? I understand that we all don't agree that somebody who's making what they're making shouldn't get a raise. But I'm sorry, when we look at what we're paying these police officers, okay? And I agree with what Mr. Harville said, that we need to give the volunteer fire department back their $5,000. Maybe we have to give some more money to 911. But again, where's that money going to come from? We're going to have to raise the pennies and take the money from somewhere. Where do you want to cut? I mean, you know, maybe a solution with the sanitation department is if we can't hire enough employees, the county may need to look at doing away with brush pickup. That's a big possibility. How much would that save? Of course, then we're going to have everybody say, well, everybody's going to just throw their brush on the side of the road. And it's going to sit on the side of the road.
And it does now.
I mean, it is now anyway.
Yep.
I don't know, but I think they deserve what we promised to give them. And I can't honestly vote to take it away from them. That's my opinion.
Commissioner Neesmith?
What we voted on the other night, that was good that night. But we're here today voting on it again. And our final vote won't be done to the 25th. So nothing is final, Kyle. Whether we voted the other night or whether we voted today, it ain't gonna be final till we do the final vote on the, I believe it's the 25th. Am I right, Rodney?
The committee has to finalize it tonight, it has to be posted for 10 days, and then the full commission will vote on the 25th.
But that'll
for the
have to come
budget.
back before final after that.
Ms. Green?
So it wasn't final.
If
other
we
than
go
that.
back, and I'll agree with Mr. Walker, our people deserve a raise. I wouldn't work for what they do. And you all know what I do for a living. So if we go back to the original, of pulling from the property tax pennies for the school system, which is not going to hurt them with the sales tax that they are getting or the grants they have been getting or whatever else they will probably come out with. How many pennies would we have to move from the school property tax to give 10% for the sheriff's department? And no, I don't agree with some of it, but I do see that they need a raise. And 5% for everybody else. How much would we have to do so that we could keep help in the garbage highway, so we could keep help everywhere else? How many pennies would we have to move to do that?
Well, that figure was $1.6 million you'd take from the school system.
So how many pennies?
Correct. Be 6 pennies.
6 pennies. And that would handle the raises. Correct?
Correct.
And that would still leave them how many pennies in property tax?
Wait just a second, Miss Hale.
You're good. I appreciate the answer.
It would leave them 20.2226 pennies.
I'm sorry. Please repeat for me.
Point two, oh wait, we're moving 6.2226.
0.226 pennies is what's left in the school system.
If you took,
2226.
if you took 6 out,
3 twos.
3 twos.
I couldn't hear that. Somebody repeat it. Can hear it a little bit good. Is it on there?
So that's a fraction of,
In the box.
that's a fraction of pennies. That's not whole pennies.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Am I
That's
understanding
the
you?
property tax. It would be the rate.
Miss Amanda, am I understanding you correctly? That's a
Okay,
fraction.
so on
That-
on your screen, right there, right here is our current tax rate,
Okay,
okay? So the schools is 0.2826
okay.
of our total tax. That's how many pennies out of $1.47 that they're getting. You can see the majority goes to the general fund, and 0.2580 goes to debt service, and 0.16 goes to the sanitation fund. So if you take 6 pennies away from the school system, that means out of $1.47, they will receive 0.2226 cents out of $1.47.
Miss Hale, did you?
Yes, sir. Thank you. It looked good Thursday night, but something came up in all the calls and discussions I had since, is that they take care of the roof and AC and don't have to come to us for that money. And, you know, when a brick falls off, it'll be on us. It'll be on the next commission. And if we can come to a point, I fear emptying this, and I realize it's not empty, but emptying this to do this one, and then, I think about the tax increase that might have to happen next year. And I agree with the statement Mr. Harville has made several times is, you know, here a penny, there a penny of tax increase is not a bad thing. You know, the Fram oil filter, you can pay me now or pay me later, and here we are in later. Whereas if we stay with the 5% across the board, and you know, it has come to me in listening to goodness, the earnestness of our citizens here. I don't know of anybody's job who's not important.
Amen.
You have to want to work in Hamlin County. You have to want to live in Hamlin County, and now, obviously, as I leave, I'm going to make sure I shop in Hamlin County and all of those things. It's a wonderful place to be, and businesses and government, we have to make it where you want to be there.
Amen.
And I've heard from business leaders that say, you put another dollar towards this, and if another county office, another dollar, they're going to go there. And that's what I mean about you have to want to. You have to feel wanted to be here, and to. So we're in a pickle, but I don't want to. I have to appreciate our trustee, our debt service. Everything has been paid, and Amanda and Dennis and the work they do on this. And when I came in, I thought, how in the world are you going to operate with such a big expense over there? And we have, and we have met the debt service, and we have carried on. But you look at this, and we've been operating at 5%. I think we can handle that. And that still leaves some pennies for them, so that if 3 bricks fall off, they don't have to come and tell us about it. And we can stay out of the doghouse as far as budget. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Let's do a roll call, please.
Is this the 5%?
You want me to clarify that motion? The motion
Yes.
is for a 5% across the board to all employees.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Yes. Abstain with cause.
No.
What was the vote? 7 yes, 4 no. Thank you.
Motion carries. This time we would have to have a motion to entertain to move the pennies 3 cents from the school property tax. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Harville,
Second.
second by Mrs. Howe. Any discussion?
Are we sure that's all we're gonna need, Rodney? Before we get through here tonight?
That's a good
Or
point.
we gonna have to go back in and get some more pennies?
Amen.
We got 2 or 3 more things to go over.
I think that's all we're gonna need.
Okay.
We have to do this it's connected to that. So any other discussion?
I have one question, if I may,
Yes.
please. Because we were talking about the fire departments earlier. If we go back and look at that, can we return back to possibly pulling some more from the school? Or is it a closed matter at that point?
Okay. All right. Who made that motion? Ms. Hale?
If we go back and look at the fire departments, can
Stan-
we go back
Stan
and look
made
at the
first.
pennies? from the
Mr. Harville, would you
$20,000.
be willing to change your motion to pulling the 3 cents to cover the COLA?
Yes. Yeah.
Ms. Howe, are you all right with that one on a
Yes, sir.
second?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Would you clarify the motion that's on the floor before you vote? Please.
Motion is to pull 3 cents from the school property tax to pay for the COLA, 5% COLA. Let's do a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We'll move to 4A3 is approval of the Highway Capital Projects Fund number 171.
176?
76. I've marked it with my ink
Tab,
pen.
Rodney.
Do I have a motion?
What's that tab?
What tab, what's that?
It's
We know.
Do we know the tab on that one? 62 or something, okay.
We didn't put a tab on it. We'll go back here just a second and find you a tab, Mr. Neesmith.
That's still how much money they want, right?
What the, yeah, it should. You're right.
Because they ain't got no
Sure.
dollar signs on it.
Tab 64, Mr. Neesmith,
Thank you.
Commission.
Life's full on. That's a good one.
Amen.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Horner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Harville. Any discussion? Mr. Green.
The totals that are on there, are any of those for what I call the new side loaders?
No, in Fund 176, you're voting 176, that's just highway capital projects, that's just paving.
Okay, so capital projects is paving only.
Highway, Fund 176 is paving only.
Thank you for,
And like the prep work, the stone and the guardrail, everything that goes into road improvement, I will say.
okay.
No equipment.
I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Let's do a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We will move to 4A4, approval of the General Debt Service Fund 151. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Horner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Carden. Any discussion? Let's do a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion carried. We'll move to 4A5, approval of the Special Debt Service Fund 154. Do I have a motion? Tab 63 if you want to look at it.
That's fine. Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Hahn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Horner. Any questions? Ms. Green?
What's the basic difference between those? One of them says special debt service and one says general. What is the basic difference?
So, special debt service is all the debt associated with the landfill. So the two notes that we hold for them and the two bonds, and the capital outlay note for the shredder. And it's a wash because every principal and interest payment that the county makes, the landfill reimburses the county. The only difference is the interest that's accrued in that fund stays in that fund. And then in Fund 151, general debt service, that's all the debt for the schools and the county.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Let's do a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
At this time, we're going to take a 5-minute break so Ms. Hale can compile numbers for the next
Praise God.
next 4.
think he's back. I apologize, Mr. Harville. Hopefully he'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I don't know it real well, but I can help you. You think someone in the room? Well, I'll help you.
She done good. She done good. She done good. She done good.
I couldn't hardly keep up. I couldn't hardly hear that.
Proud of that lady. She done good.
You get that thing you said, girl?
I've rid a horse to believe.
As we come back to order, we'll move to 4A6. It's approval of the Drug Control Fund 122, and what we'll do, we'll let Ms. Hill on that. Okay, we'll just do it. Do I have a motion on it?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Ahern. Any discussion?
What tab is that, sir?
60.
Thank you.
Do a roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll go to 4A7, approval of the General Fund 101, and what Ms. Hale will do, will read the line across, and we will be voting on the end of it there. That's where we'll need the motion.
So after the changes that have been voted on tonight, the budgeted revenue will now be $36,667,000. $36,667,067. That's a mouthful. The budgeted expenses will be $37,035,774,000, leaving the ending fund balance at $16,824,299.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Horner. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Reed.
No. Miss Ahern.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the back of your head, Mike. I'm sorry. Mr. Richardson.
Oh, I have a dress up.
Not yet.
Not yet. Any discussion? Call roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Go to 4A8, approval of sanitation fund 116. Ms. Hale.
So total budgeted revenue for Fund 116 will be $4,387,180. With the cost of living included, the total budgeted expenses will be $4,809,353, leaving an estimated ending fund balance of $2,586,999. $573,084.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Harville. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ahern. Any discussion? Ms. Green?
Does that have the new garbage trucks, and I want to say one-armed bandits, but I'm not sure I used the correct terminology, in it, and what tab is it on so that you can look directly at it?
Richard Richardson, I'm pretty sure it has trucks plus a recycle truck in it too.
It's
Yes.
tab 59.
It's tab.
Fund 116, and those capital items are reflected in the fund balance that I just gave you. They total $680,000.
And how many trucks is that as far as the one?
Two.
It was a new garbage truck and a new recycle truck.
Recycle
correct,
is a
that right?
non-CDL truck. Is that right, Mr. Richards?
That recycle truck a one-armed bandit too?
No. It'll be a non-CDL, so the driver doesn't have have to have a CDL to drive it. Be easier to hire somebody.
That means they can't haul as much, right?
Question.
It's an 8-yard truck, can I speak?
Yes.
It's an 8-yard truck, and we collect about 1 to 2 tons of recycle a day, so we'll have plenty of room in it.
So you're not gonna get 26,000 pounds?
No.
That's what you have to
Anybody
have.
could drive that. You
Yeah.
could drive that truck.
26,000 is Class D, it's not CDL.
Huh?
26,000 is a Class D, it's not a CDL,
No.
because I've got
Any
a
other
Class D.
discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
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 No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We'll move to 4A9, approval of the Highway Fund 131.
Tab 61.
Tab 61.
thank you.
So as presented, the total estimated revenue for highway will be $3,061,736. With the cost of living budgeted, the estimated expenses will be $3,661,148. The capital items that are included equate to $494,692, leaving a fund balance of $1,400,062. That is using it's projected to use fund balance, but there are several unfilled positions in the highway department, just as we've all been discussing. And so, based on their history, like this year, I estimate they will actually grow fund balance about $500,000. So this budget does use fund balance. However, do I expect that at the end of the day, by the end of June, it should not, I estimate probably actually a slight increase in fund balance. But just so we're being open, that's the ending fund balance will be $1,400,062.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Howe. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Horner. Any discussion? Ms. Green?
Quick question. You said that they were short employees when they fill those positions. Will we still be okay?
We should be still $100,000. Again, they don't typically spend everything they're budgeted, at least by that much. They're good at watching, their costs, so I don't anticipate, based on historical information.
Well, it's not been that long since we had a budget meeting, and Ms. Howe pointed out there was in big red parentheses a deficit there, so I just need to ask the question. So if they increase additional employees besides what they're short, will we still be okay? Being that
I don't know that they anticipate
hiring more?
more than what they already have in their budget.
Well, the reason I asked that question was, if I remember the presentation correctly, they pulled off of the brush trucks to have people run the garbage trucks.
But this is highway.
This is highway.
Highway, okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Abstain with cause.
Yes.
Yes, one abstain.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Lord.
The next meeting will be the regular committee meeting on Monday night, the 15th. The commission will meet on June the 25th to adopt the budget. Is all minds clear? Smith.
What are they gonna do about the, fire department? We're gonna give them their money? Gonna give them that 5,000?
It's a good question.
Dan? What we gonna do on that?
I would like to see us do it.
Amen.
Man, can we do it is the question. I'd like to see us give a whole lot more to the sheriff's department than what we gave, but there's only so much of the pie to give.
They're not asking for that much.
I understand. I agree
Every
with
little
you.
bit
I agree
mounts
with you.
up.
I'd like to see us give that $5,000 to
Is
each.
the recommendation to give them 80 each instead of 75? Is that the
No. We funded them at 70. Is that correct?
75?
Oh, you funded them at 75.
Okay.
We fund them at last year's
Last
rate.
year's, right.
Yes.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see them have the 80.
Fund them at 80, yes.
At 80, so 20,000, and we have an excess of $27,000. So you can have $20,000 and we can have $7,293 left over.
But the good part is, if we had to fund this like the city does, it costs us a whole lot more than $80,000 a year per fire department. Their training alone is ridiculous. And they do an outstanding job. Just like I said, I've worked with about every fire department in Hamlin County. I have no complaints about the gentlemen or the ladies.
Amanda, did you find it that we could do it?
She said, yes, she had 27,000 left.
It would,
More than that, isn't it?
No, that
it
wasn't
would
what-
leave you
clarify
seven.
for him.
It would leave, go ahead.
Got a
Miss.
motion on that?
Please.
Second?
So if you gave them 80,000 instead of 75, that's an extra $20,000. And from what I've estimated, you're going to have $27,293 left before any changes for the fire departments. So if you gave them 20, that will leave us an excess of $7,293 for next year.
Money left over then.
Now, one more question. At some point, can we revisit 911? Because they do an outstanding job. They dispatch, just like they brought up, they dispatch the sheriffs, they dispatch the fire department.
We're dealing with one subject at a time here. Let's
Okay, thank you,
deal
sir.
with this, to take care of this one.
I'll make the motion that we fund the volunteer fire departments at 80,000 each, which is 5,000 over for each one of them. Is that correct?
We have a motion to fund each fire department $5,000 over last year's amount. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Miss Ahern. Any discussion?
Too slow.
Was it?
Do a roll call,
Ms.
please.
Ahern.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
We'll have to make another vote. We'll have to revote the general fund.
Where is it? We got which one?
It was, okay, so you all just voted on 4A7, approval of general fund. We need to go back and revote that now, removing the $20,000. So now, if
I make a motion that we reopen 4A7, approval of general fund.
Do I hear a second? Second by Mr. Horner. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Do we need to do anything else?
I don't know.
No.
No? Okay.
Can you do that right quick?
So
Okay.
now the general fund, the revenue didn't change, so 36,667,067. Now the total budgeted expenses will be $37,055,774 with an estimated ending fund balance of $16,824,299, leaving excess of $7,293 for 26-27.
Motion to approve.
We've done got a,
Hang
didn't
on.
we?
Is it- The motion was to reopen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to reopen, yeah.
All right, sorry, it's my fault. Motion to approve by Mr. Harville. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Horner. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Motion carries. We got a vote, didn't we? Yeah, we'll have to go back. That's my fault. Yeah.
jumped you on the motion.
Yeah. it's my- All right, on the motion to reopen, we had a first and second, but we need a roll call on it to make it get in the books.
Well, I made the motion to reopen, and we had the motion and the second, but we didn't vote on it.
Okay.
We got to vote on it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Yes. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 What you're gonna use.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I want to thank everyone for a hard job. There was hard choices to make tonight. As commissioners, we have a hard job trying to protect the citizens, trying to protect the employees, trying to protect the services for the citizens. And I want to thank each and every one of you for your job well done. I will ask you to remember Mr. Huntsman in your prayers, and also Thomas Doty tonight. He was rushed to the hospital this afternoon, and from my understanding, doing some tests on his heart. I don't really know the outcome or anything like that. That's the reason he's not here tonight. So please remember him. All minds clear.
Wow.
Yes.
Is there any chance at some point that we can go back and relook at 911?
We voted on 911's budget, Ms. Green,
Oh, we
and
did,
we
but
funded them on last year's numbers, just like the city did, to be addressed later on down the road here.
So you're saying there's no way we can go back and revisit it like we did the fire department, sir?
There's nothing to do right now. There's no way to fund it right now.
Rodney,
Yes.
our meeting the 15th, is that just a regular committee meeting?
It's a regular committee meeting.
No budget?
No.
No budget?
No, thank the Lord.
Okay.
Amen that.
You ready for another budget, Stan?
We're dismissed. Thank you.